Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, friends of Artists on Lockdown. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Ben. And unfortunately, thank you, Corona, for keeping us all at home, or some of you that decide to stay home and still be safe, and rightly so. And I will try to entertain you a little bit. If you missed it last time, I showed two Thursdays ago images of being with great white shark. And last week I showed the images and story about being with leopard seals in the South Pole in Antarctica. Today I'm going to take you to much pleasant place, a pleasant animal, and more joyful animal. If the other two were predators, this one today, it is different. It is a joy to the eyes, to the heart, and to Mother Nature. So let's see. I'm going to open the presentation, and voila. If the astronaut, when they flew over our planet, they saw it all as blue, practically blue. And they fall in love with it more than any other star in the universe. Okay, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Let's call the astronaut because the images are not moving. Let's see. Oh, they're moving from here. Okay. Do you see it all? Okay. So we have the planet was all blue. And I decided to take a camera many years ago. That's why I'm here, since I have a story to tell you. And with the camera, and I travel with it, and mostly above water and underwater, anywhere around the world. In this case, to photograph in particular the largest animal ever live on the planet, more than even bigger than any of the dinosaurs. Matter of fact, it is considered by the dinosaur expert that this animal, which we call the blue whale, which actually is silver, as you see in its calibration, it could not exist during the time of the dinosaurs, but only after the dinosaurs disappear out of our planet, the blue whale could come to present, and it is the modern dinosaur. So clearly we're looking at animals that live many, many million years and able to entertain us. But in order to see it, it is unfortunately difficult. And here is you see me sitting on a plane, a special plane. We moved the door out, looking over the Coronado Island between California and Mexico, between San Diego and Mexico. The blue whale are actually solitaire, and they move basically alone. They are not in a pod like orcas, like pilot whales, like a humpback whale. They usually move alone, most likely. But also, it's very interesting story and sad story to highlight here and to make people aware, and all of you to know, that earlier in between the 1910 till about 1968, when there were the ban on whale hunting, there were about, earlier around the 1910, there were about close to 250,000 or 350,000 blue whale on the planet. Because of its size of 30 meter or 90 or 100 feet long, and its weight over 180 tons, it was hunted. It was hunted badly. Today, on the planet, approximately, always we don't know for sure how many, but approximate between around 12 to 15,000 blue whale alone left on our planet. There is an issue of the Saturn, the equator, and then we have the separation between the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. There are many more blue whale in the southern hemisphere compared to the northern hemisphere for several reasons. One of the most people on the planet living on the northern hemisphere, but also the quality of food because of that is better in the southern hemisphere, because in the northern hemisphere there's much more pollution in the water. So the blue whale is one of the main subjects that had difficult to recover during this time, and also have less amount of time or less ability to recover itself, as the female need to be 9 to 12 years old before she can bring one calf, maybe two calf in all her lifetime. As you see here in this case, we see two of them moving along the coast of California, mostly because during the months of June, July, August, September, as they're going out from Baja California, come around Cabo San Lucas, moving along our coast of the United States and Canada, all the way to Antarctica. But yes, I said the animal is big, and I gave you a size of over 30 meters or 99 feet, but it does not mean anything. No matter how big I open my arms around the screen, it still does not show how big. So I decided to work with another boat, and it was all by coordination, to put a boat but side of the world as the world's surface, to be able to illustrate to all the people that will not go into the ocean, or the people will not go on the ocean to look at it, or up in the air, give you a chance really to see and to have the feeling, what does that mean, and how big is really 30 meters of breathing specimen, breathing animal. And here is another picture, as you see it closer from the other side of it. And the boat is hardly in 2/3 of the body before the tail is outside of the picture. So to be able to be in the water, that's what I do. In order to be in the water with the whales, I needed to put a quite complex logistic operation to be able to make it happen. One, because there are very few. Two, because they are very difficult to find the needle in the haystack in the middle of this big ocean. So, and also because the animal is shy, how to approach them. So one of the first thing is I hire a plane, a spotter plane, and a pilot, that I go up in the air. We are looking first to find out where are the whales. Then we have the boat with a skipper, with safe vessel, with all the requirement by the Coast Guard, and then taking only few people, only 4 guests, and the other people that you see around are the kayaker that helping us to get to the water. And this is how we get to the water. Because all of the whales are what they call acoustic animal. They affect by sound. They are affected by sound, and the more sound they hear, the more try to shy away from us, or run away, or go deeper in this case, or move faster. So when we see the blue whale from the air, when the pilot tell us, we come with the boat about a mile from the blue whale, we stop the boat, put the people in the kayak, and launch them out on the water, spread out. And that's just waiting for a blue whale that may come close to us, or if we see it from a distance, because the blow of the blue whale can reach up to 10 meters, 30 feet tall, the loudest and the tallest of all whales. But what they feed, this animal that reached to a size of almost between 120 to 180 tons, his heart is bigger than a Volkswagen Beetle car. It is just unbelievable. But the time it's opened his mouth, it's taking 4 tons of water into his mouth. And what you see, the particle in the water, these are called plankton. That's what they eat on. They don't touch people. They don't eat other fish. They don't definitely take any surfer or any kayaker. They just eat plankton. And that's what you see when eventually you swim out of the ball of plankton, and you see it with the mouth or the under chin full of water or full of plankton, because all the water actually spread out through his baleen. But it's not enough for somebody like myself and the people who join me. We like to be in the water with them. That's the reason I said we spread out only one at a time on the kayak. We open sea. If a blue whale coming by our side, then I have a good chance to swim with it, just like you see in this case, or like you see in this case. I'm glad to say, or I'm proud to say in the same token, that perhaps I'm the only operator in the world that offering opportunity to see blue whale in 3 most exotic and exciting places in the world. One of them coming up in October, November, we go to Timor-Leste, southern part of the south part of the universe, between Indonesia and Australia. Then we go to the Costa Rica Dome in the heart of the Pacific Ocean, waiting for a particular time of the year when the wind shut down, and then to be able to go to see the Blue Whale Cafe, where most of the ocean giant arriving to feed on plankton, because as the wind died down, plankton come up toward the surface and the whale come to feed on them. And then the other place we go to is to the island of the Azores. All of those places are by special permit, make it very, very special for us and protective of the whale. So the whale goes down. As we come close to them, they feel, and they always take care of themselves because the fear they develop through generation, they will go diving. In this case, the diver went and I went together, and we photographed them and then I got close to where the whale and be able to capture this image. And that's the beauty. Eventually level off at about 30, 40 feet. I was down with it and looking at it. Look at the beautiful line. And maybe the picture a little bit bluish, but we never know why it's called blue whale, because when you get to the surface, you actually grayish silver. As you see, some silver and some gray, but because of filtration through the water, is the picture become a little bit too blue and become a blue whale. Or like here, you see how silver it is, how the white on the pectoral fin, that is the blue whale in the front of him, the majestic. I was able to get closer, and here you see how gray it is, how silvery rather than blue, and you get close to his eyes. And what I'm going to show you next is perhaps the only picture of its kind, and that is a close-up. And my camera was very wide angle. For all the photographer among you, the camera was fisheye lens, 170 degree, and I could only take a picture from the pectoral fin to the nose. And this is already about maybe 10-meter length and about 1 meter away from the eye of the blue whale. But unfortunately, the story is not only hunky-dory and not just all beautiful, as I made an effort to describe, and as it should be and it could be. We have also a lot of death among blue whale as a result of so much traffic over the water. And this picture are taken, the few pictures that you see next is a blue whale actually was wounded or hit by a vessel in Sri Lanka. And there is a very busy shipping lane that coming out from Europe or from the Saudi Arabia into China. And all those vessels that come in with, of course, gas, with fuel, with oil, with food and cargo of cars and food, everything that's necessary between the greatest growing China and India by 1.3 billion in both countries. Almost 1/3 of the world population live just there. They need a lot of supply, and there are many boats going in. Sri Lanka is on the cutting edge of the Indian Ocean and the shipping lane, the international shipping lane. And this is also the classic place for those blue whale, the pygmy blue whale of the Pacific and the Indian Ocean to travel. And then what you see here is a dead blue whale together with a diver in the front of it. Or in this case, somebody actually took picture of me taking the picture of the blue whale, as you see, is on its side. And that is the #1 threat for the blue whale today on the planet. They cannot move as fast as the boat moving. They make a lot of noise. They try to avoid them. And what is interesting, in the United States, the government was able to move away the internal shipping lane distance enough between the months of June till September or October, allow the blue whale to stay in their natural courses they developed throughout the millions of years without getting hurt. In Sri Lanka, despite a lot of effort and a lot of conservation agency appeal to the government, it's still we were not able to change their mind about changing the shipping lane. I'll end up with some anecdote or interesting moment about the blue whale. Another one, that the fact that all whale, including the blue whale in this case, can sleep in the water. And as you see here is a sleeping whale. All of the cetacean, including dolphin and whale, only half of the brain is asleep. The other half is awake, and then they change location if they needed to. In this case, a Chinese photographer, a good friend of mine, Keding Zhou, was able to capture this fantastic picture head on with the blue whale as he was resting on the surface of the water. But here is a picture that I've taken of another sleeping blue whale, but rather to come to his head or to come to his side, I went to the back to illustrate really how gigantic It is all the distance between me and the island in front of me, and the blue one just stretched around almost 80, 90 feet long or 30-meter long, and the tail spread 20 to 25 feet across on the front of the bow of the panga that I was on. What we see here is the migration. Yes, we go for the migration of the blue whale. That's how we can see them. This is where we see them. You can see them off California, but it is not legal because of the marine mammal law. We are not supposed to be diving there anymore, and we stopped doing that. And now we are, but we able to do it with a permit in the Timor-Leste, able to go out under research purposes and goal into the Costa Rica Dome, and of course into the Azores, and again through a permit by the local University of Portugal. This is what happened to the people when they are able to return every day by the end of the day after 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the water. And one or two of them or all of them have a chance to be swimming with a blue whale, to see the largest animal on the planet, the largest, bigger than any dinosaurs. Could you only imagine? And we only swimming. You don't have to be a certified diver. You don't have to be a photographer. You don't have a license. You just have to have a bathing suit, mask and fin, and a sense of adventure. And that's the happiness, this is the joy that you see on the face of the people when we spend a week together and be together with the world. I will end up with those few pictures. This is a blue whale of Baja California before we went diving. And I'm going to share with you a short clip of the movie that made about my career as a photographer or as a researcher or explorer. And that's 2.5 minutes.
Amos, to me, is one of the best ambassadors of the ocean. It takes huge amount of risks to bring those images which nobody else has ever been able to capture.
He comes back with images that no one can get. He is probably the best underwater still photographer in the world.
His story was always read in mystery.
He doesn't have a normal life. He doesn't have children. He's married to the ocean.
He has this passion. He wants to be in the water, close to polar bear, swim with the biggest predator on Earth.
If the wind is too turbulent, you're not going to go there.
There's so many factors that can work against you.
All right, guys, we're taking off.
Amos and his team have only 5 days to find a polar bear and take a picture.
It's the one animal where humans are part of their food chain. People get eaten by polar bears.
He needs that adrenaline rush. He needs to get the edge. And if he doesn't do it in one way, he'll do it in another way. And maybe his military background has how to do with it.
What happened to Amos in the army is a mystery to me. He didn't come home, really.
I can see blue sky compared to seeing flames.
I wonder if there is some kind of unfinished business just following me.
Believe in yourself and go all the way for it, no matter what else. And this is all the power of vision.
Amos wants to prove that those large animals aren't our enemies, and that we can live with them in harmony.
Coming soon to your theater. Okay, I guess I'm having a problem and my connection through the system is down. For whatever reason, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I'm not able to move my screen anymore. The presentation is stuck. All right, Houston, we have a problem. Yeah. I will try to end the show. I cannot even get out of the show to start it again. I'm sorry? Go ahead. I don't see anything. Yes, I have video recording. I did not mount them today, but you can visit them on my website, www.biganimals.com, and look among the 10 or 11 adventure I offer, the trip with the blue whale, and you'll see the video there. The camera I'm using, it doesn't really make any difference what camera being used. However, there are few are leading camera in the market, which are, of course, the Nikon, the Canon, the Sony, and the Fuji. The question more important in this case, what lens you use and the housing to protect the camera while you take it underwater. They need a housing to protect the camera. And then it is just being better skill as a diver, better skill as a photographer to be able to be with the animal to get these kind of pictures. The animal for next week, let's see. Let's take the people not just underwater, we'll take them above water to see snow leopard and to see jaguar. Snow leopard from the Himalaya, jaguar from the Pantanal in Brazil. I thank you very much. Thank you for all the people that could join us at Artist on Lockdown, and for Steve and Ben.